A lot of people underestimate the power of R&D and innovation. I think that should be the first pillar that you should start from and invest in.
Hi, and welcome to Sustain to Scale series with Collaborator. Today we have with us Aarti Gill, a founder and CEO of Ziva, a true nutraceutical that has established itself as India's leading clean, plant-based, omni-channel nutrition brand. Currently valued at about $100 million, this 5-year-old Mumbai-based company is planning to empower over 100 million users to live healthier and better, effectively reducing their global healthcare cost. Aarti, welcome. Good to have you here with us. This journey of yours was not easy. Your first business model in health and fitness space was launched in 2013, but did not pan out well. And after trying few things, Ziva was born in 2016. Tell us about this journey and what Ziva brand stands today.
The business model was predominantly into services. We were doing diet consultations, marathon training over the app, right? And I think after a few months, we realized that there's something that's not working out in that particular business model, right? So the retention rates were not that great, right? And maybe also we were trying to focus on two pillars at the same time, which is very typical if you have limited cash available. Ziva, got born, right? So we said, let's create a brand, let's create a product line which today does not exist in India, but eventually we believe that there will be more and more people who would like to adopt a more cleaner lifestyle and holistic lifestyle. That's how Ziva came in 2016. I think almost like 1.5, 2 years went into the R&D research. 2016, we launched a brand, and it's been a journey since then. It's been like 4.5 years now, around 5 years, right? And today we are the leaders in clean and plant-based nutrition space. We're looking at expanding into different categories. As I said, the goal remains the same. How do we empower millions of lives to be better? Right? We will come up with multiple solutions to do that.
Reflecting back when you first launched the Fit Circle, what challenges you faced as a woman leader or as a startup?
I think the first few years just went into understanding the Indian consumers, right? And launching what is the best fit for the market. And I think one of the best things that happened in the early days was not being able to raise capital, right? I remember we were approaching and we were talking to different investors in the space, and एक ना wave आया था health and fitness में, US में ये चल रहा है तो आप ये कर लो 2014-15 में. And then we had started in 2013. We had tried a few models. We were like, ये नहीं चलेगा. तो आप पैसे दे भी दोगे तो बर्बाद ही होने वाले हैं. So why to take it then, right? And hence, I think one of the best things was deciding that we're not going to change or pivot just to kind of raise capital. If we don't believe in a business model, whether it has worked in the West, we don't believe in it, we should not do it. Our ultimate point was कि Indian consumers को क्या चाहिए, उस पे invest करो, वो बनाओ, right? And our longest years, I think equity funding for us happened just like, I think last year it started, but for the longest time we were working, we leveraged debt, right? We were consumer funded, right? People were liking our products and they were paying for it. And I think that's one of the best ways to kind of grow the business, right? I think so my thing for every entrepreneur, what we started when we, in the initial days is also like, to actually focus more on consumers to figure out the product market fit, and the rest will flow actually then.
Because it's never been easy to raise funds. And while sometimes you miss an opportunity and there are times when you grab this opportunity, but you've raised significant Series B round very recently, say in March 2021. So what was your particular experience for a fundraising, and especially any do's and don'ts that you would want to share with fellow colleagues or fellow women founders who are in the market looking to raise funds?
I think predominantly is to first figure out whether your business needs capital, what kind of capital and how much. And predominantly when we started, we worked with a banking partner. We leveraged the debt and the working capital to grow a business to a certain level before we decided to actually take an equity financing, right? I think, as I said, so important is to figure out the need of the business at that particular time. We're a consumer brand. I don't think so, it's unlike app or a tech business where you have to get a lot of downloads and then eventually you don't know where the revenues are going to come in 4 years baad kuch aayega, right? I think that's not the kind of business that we operate in, right? There's a product, right? If there is a PMF, if people like it, they'll pay for it, right? Now the only thing that can happen in the initial days is your growth could be slower than what it could have been if you infuse more capital. But I think it's very important the first 1 year, 18 months goes into the product market fit.
It's a classic way to look at you sustain and then you scale.
Yes.
This is, we are also a big advocate of that.
So it's not the constant thing कि पहले 5 million उठाया है, फिर 10 उठाओ, फिर 30 उठाओ, फिर 100 उठाओ. If your business doesn't need it, you don't need to raise capital like that. The business should decide the amount of capital rather than going into that pressure of, A, B, C, D.
How was a pandemic for Ziva? Was it a boom? Was it a bane for your business? So how do you look at the last few months, last years?
People have become far more health conscious, right? I think the focus on the health was like we would have wanted to be like that forever, right? But I think it wasn't there. And I've seen that after pandemic, people are thinking about their health. They're thinking about what's the kind of nutrition that they should consume, what they are investing in exercising, right? I think that's the most important thing that has happened. And I wish that it remains like that forever. Second thing that has happened is predominantly there has been an accelerated adoption of e-commerce. Offline retail से थोड़ा सा shift आया है online retail की तरफ, and which is where, considering we have been predominantly digital first brand, that is where we've seen a better adoption as compared to the pre-pandemic days.
How is Ziva scaling up or disrupting this to take a larger pie in this market?
So Ziva has been predominantly in the space of dietary supplements, right? And which is where one of the core USP of the brand when it was launched even today is that it is clean, right? It's 100% clean. It has plant-based, extracts into different products. We decided how can we raise the benchmark of clean in India. So today we're the first brand to be certified clean by USCLP. I think 18 months back, we started that journey that we want to raise the benchmark of clean. So we went ahead, we got the certification from USCLP, right? And we're very proud of that. It takes a lot of investment in supply chain. It takes a lot of investment in R&D to actually achieve that particular status. I think that's how we kind of, differentiate our. If there are 100 products present in the market, I'm not going to launch 101, right? And just try to take a market share. We come up with innovative solutions in consumer health. There are different problems that people face, right? How can we actually come up with innovative solutions, original solutions? That is where Ziva, originality in O stands for.
Where do you see banks can help you in this journey?
We've personally experienced is the financing, right? There could be different, ways or methods to finance the business, right? And which is where I think banks have the power to create, tools that can work well for the SMEs and even startups, right? Whether it's working capital, whether it's some other structure.
So where are Ziva spending its marketing dollar, or where do you see what should be a right way for any D2C brand to spend the marketing dollars on to scale the business?
If you are selling something that is not original, is what I've realized, right? So if you're selling a Me Too thing, right, there are 10 different players, you'll be burning and, spending far more on marketing. So important thing is, a lot of people underestimate the power of R&D and innovation. I think that should be the first pillar that you should start from and invest in, right? We get 45 to 50% revenues from our own platform, right? I think there's been a continuous investment in that, developing that pillar, right? Of engineering technology. How it helps is because the third one that we should invest in is the customer experience. Who is eventually paying you money, or where is the revenue coming from? Is customers, right? So how can you create loyalty programs, right? And that's a part of marketing, right? That how can you actually make your customers the experience far much better, right? I think their stickiness would be higher. If their stickiness is higher, then they were going to refer more folks, right? And your growth could be a byproduct of the customer stickiness, right? And that is where the third pillar should be. So I think these are the fourth one, alliances. are something that can actually have a high ROI. So for me, I think investment as a company in these four things are very crucial in the early days.
Thank you so much for the words of wisdom. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to take back good things from this conversation. And I wish you luck for reaching or making the life better for 100 million people who are seriously looking to be part of this revolution.